The internet has become an essential part of everyone's life. We rely on it for work, study, entertainment, and staying connected with others. But have you ever wondered what would happen if the internet suddenly disappeared from the world? Welcome to the Ask and Learn channel, and today we're answering a very puzzling question. What if the internet suddenly disappeared? Imagine that the number of internet users around the world has reached more than 5 billion people. That's more than half the planet's population. The internet has become like a neural network that connects everything, from banks, global markets, and stock exchanges, to airlines, hospitals, and even the simplest apps we use every day. So much so that on the first day without internet, people wouldn't believe it. They'd think it's just a temporary issue or maintenance problem that will be fixed soon. But as time goes on, everyone will start noticing no connections, no updates, no notifications, no communication with anyone. All internet-based businesses would come to a halt. Shipping companies, online banking, digital commerce, the stock market, and any job that relies on the internet. On the second day, the effects would become more obvious. Communication between people would become extremely difficult, especially in communities that depend heavily on apps. Big companies would start losing millions, stock exchanges would shut down, flights would be canceled, and shipping operations would slow down dramatically. Not to mention that many people would begin to feel stressed or anxious because the internet had become a source of comfort and an escape from life's pressures. By the third day, the situation would escalate into a global crisis. Governments would try to take control and work on activating alternative systems, but it wouldn't be that simple. Many systems, services, and critical information infrastructures depended solely on the internet, and there's no immediate replacement. Productivity in all sectors would decrease, factories could shut down, and reliance on paper-based information would return, but it might be too late. Now imagine it's been a whole week without the internet. Human life as we know it would start to change. People would begin speaking to each other like in the old days, and dependence on physical books and traditional resources would grow. Countries would start developing alternative sources and infrastructure, trying to reimagine a world without a digital network. And even though the world existed before the internet, the way we live today makes going backward incredibly difficult. Unfortunately, many sectors would collapse completely, there would be massive economic losses, and many people could lose their jobs. In the end, the sudden disappearance of the internet would prove just how much we depend on it in every detail of our lives. And that brings us to the next question. Should we start thinking about alternatives, or at the very least be prepared? And with that, we've answered today's question. What if the internet suddenly disappeared from the world? If there's a question that puzzles you, write it in the comments.